Hey everybody, welcome to Magic of Paws. My name is Nissa and I'm here to help you help your pets. So today I wanted to talk about one of our topics-based courses. So we offer a variety of dog training classes, whether it's you're looking at your basic life, social skills, obedience classes, or we have more specific topic-based classes. And today I wanted to talk to you about Town, which is our intermediate manners class. And it is almost entirely field trip based. Almost. There's only one session out of 4 that's actually done here at the resort. The rest are all done out and about. So it consists of 4 one-hour lessons. First one is taught here at the resort, and it's kind of our prequel that warms up behaviors and concepts that we use on our field trips, which are the next 3 weeks. And it allows you to also kind of set up expectations and figure out what the rules are for those field trips. As far as prerequisites go, I don't officially require any prerequisites. Basically, your dog needs to have done at least some basic manners and obedience classes. So one of the things that we do, we need to walk nicely on a leash. The starts of a good stay with some distractions is another good one. Having a good concept of weight, especially when it comes to getting in and out of the car. All those things are going to be a little bit harder to do if you've never done them before, because the point of this class is to take those skills that you learned in a classroom setting and apply them in the real world. That's really where it gets complicated. So if you haven't practiced them before, it's a little hard to do it in this particular class because it is so real world oriented. As far as price goes, it's $80 for the full 4 weeks, or $20 a class. We do recommend that you come to all 4 weeks of the class if possible. Unlike our other classes, which are designed to be drop-in classes, this one is a little bit more step-by-step. So it's really important to have had the prequel class before we go to the other classes. It's not impossible to do drop-in style. It just makes your life so much easier if you come to all 4 classes. Besides, by coming to all 4 classes, you're getting exposed to a variety of environments, as opposed to if you only come to 1 or 2 weeks, you're only getting exposed to a couple of different environments and learning how to deal with a couple of real-world scenarios. So it's important to make sure that you, before coming to class, you have a hungry and exercised dog to help them better handle the distractions. Also, I'm not sure if you can barely see her. That's one of our foster cats who's going through my drawers right now. Tinsel, Tinsel, say hi. And that's her sister, Twinkle. Anyway, let's continue with their minor interruptions, just being cute over my shoulder. So it's important to make sure that when you come to class, you want to have a dog that's well exercised and hungry. It allows them to focus a little bit better on the class, especially where we're going to be dealing with so many distractions. You'll also want to practice any of your obedience behaviors before coming out. Make sure you refresh walking nicely on a leash, sit stays, down stays, weights, all those sorts of things. And you also want to make sure that you're bringing treats, treat pouch, and a set length leash. So most of the time that we're out and about, we're going to be using a 6-foot leash or shorter. There will be a few occasions where you're able to use up to a 15-foot lead. We'll let you know before each individual session what that's going to be. So the goals of this class are really mainly situational awareness. So that's making sure that you understand the importance and learning to always be aware of your surroundings and making sure that you're able to respond proactively as needed to keep your dogs and humans safe as well as comfortable. It's also really important that we work at the dog's level in this class. So it's important to be able to set reasonable expectations for your dog's behavior and assess the progress based off of that. So if your dog only completed one puppy class, you don't want to compare yourself to another dog who might be in the class who went through puppy, beginner, intermediate. So it's totally different. And it's not that your dog isn't equipped to do this course with just a puppy class under their belt. They're just not going to have as solid of a skill set as a dog who's done multiple training classes. So you just want to set that expectation to set yourself up for success. So if you know that your dog has a really short stay because you've only been working on it at a puppy level, then maybe we don't use stays as often in the real world experiences that we're having compared to a dog who's got a really good solid stay. It's just a matter of coming up with what works best for you and your dog. That's one thing that's kind of amazing, but also can be frustrating for some people about this class, is that there's no right or wrong way to do almost anything in this class. I'll have suggestions for you, but what might work for your dog might not work for the other dogs in the class, and vice versa. So everything is going to be very individualized to each dog. So other things that we need to really work on in this class are problem solving. That's pretty much all we're going to encounter while we're out and about. You want to be able to problem solve with positive approaches to all of these real life situations that we're going to come across. So have any questions come up for you so far? If so, drop them down in the comments. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by the fact that it's snowing. It was like 50 the other day. Why is it snowing? It's supposed to be 60 later this week. Anyway, as far as what the curriculum looks like, is that very first week, you come here, we go over and we refresh a bunch of stuff that you probably have already gone over, but we kind of take it to the next level. So we will work on getting dogs to be calm and confident in a classroom environment. That really involves a lot of praising them for doing things right while they're doing them right. We practice a little bit of loose leash walking, some handling distractions. We also work on those stays that we've learned in previous courses and get those a little bit stronger before we put it all together in our challenge circuit, which is a combination of different, not quite real world scenarios, but close enough to make it work. So we're doing things like picking up poop with a poop bag. We're talking about avoiding somebody losing an arm when a squirrel runs past, being able to have a conversation with somebody while holding on to your dog. We're also going to talk a little bit about getting in and out of the car during that challenge circuit, as well as being able to prepare and handle food around the dog. And to make it all the more complicated, we add a level of extra challenge of making sure that you can do this all just one-handed. So that's mainly the first week. It's a refresher. It's getting us all set up for success before we go out into the real world. The second week is what we call a sidewalk stroll. So we go to one of the local downtowns. We change it up from time to time about where we go. This coming week, we are going to downtown Cumberland. We're going to be meeting at the Prince Memorial Library and walking up and down Main Street, trying to get some practice in. So we basically make sure we bring lots of treats, bring some poop bags, and we walk down the road and back. So we make sure that we can get in and out of the car properly in the parking lot so that nobody dies. We make sure that we wait before crossing the street so that we're not getting pulled in front of a car. And then we actually do the whole sidewalk stroll. So this is working all on everything that we've gone over. We're going to make sure that we're walking nicely on a leash, avoiding distractions. If you run into somebody that you know, making sure that you can talk to them without your dog losing too much focus. Then the third week, we go to a local pet store. And again, I change it up. It depends on the time of day and where we're going. This next one, I'm hoping to be able to get to Blue Steel. So we're going to, when we go to the pet store, we actually have a shopping list that we go and I hand out to all the students in the class, and you go around and you find all the items, you put them in your cart, and you go, once you found everything, you go back and put it all back. And that gives you lots of opportunities to make sure that your dog isn't stealing things off of the shelves, isn't jumping on strangers, isn't, getting themselves into trouble while you're distracted reading labels. So it gives you all sorts of different things to practice. And then finally, the last week, we actually go to one of the local public parks. And this is our biggest challenge because not only are we dealing with a lot of distractions and wildlife and all of that, but we're also dealing with other dogs that might not potentially be as well trained as the dogs that we're dealing with, that we have. So we make sure that we go around and can expose our dogs to all sorts of different things. We're going to look for different distractions we can use. We're going to make sure that we're walking nicely the whole time when we're in the park. And we also do a little scavenger hunt. So we make sure that we pick up after our dogs if they go to the bathroom. We want to make sure that we can greet somebody if we run into somebody there. If there's flyers, our dog should be able to let us get a flyer from the kiosk at the park. We're also going to make sure that we can stop and take a drink, either from a water bottle we bring with us or a water fountain if there's one there. We want to make sure that we pick up any pieces of trash that we come across. Because we always want to make sure that we leave the place nicer than we found it. And then we also want to see if we can get everybody to sit nicely for a group photo. There's all sorts of different stuff that we also throw in the moment, but that's mainly what we focus on. So that is about it. That is our About Town class. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. Getting out and practicing things in the real world is very different than practicing it here, even though we do a lot of our training classes outside where there are more distractions. And even when we're inside, you can hear the dogs barking if they're in playgroup, and you see dogs coming and going when they're getting dropped off for boarding. There's all sorts of different stuff that's going on here, but it's very different than what you would experience out in the real world. So if you are interested in any of our About Town classes, you can always find more information on our website at magicofpaws.com/training services. And sorry, my foster cats are doing weird things. So if you go to Magic of Paws and go to our training services page, you'll have information about all of our classes there, including our calendar of upcoming classes. We are currently in the middle of one of our About Town classes. It started today with our prequel course. So next week is our downtown challenge. Week after that, pet store. Week after that is going to the park. If you are interested in joining, it's not too late to join the class. Just know that you're going to be a little bit behind because you didn't have that refresher of that first week like the others did. But there are still a couple of slots open for that. The next About Town it doesn't start until April at the moment, but it starts April 10th at 10 a.m. and it runs for those 4 Sundays at 10 a.m. After that, we also have one scheduled for July. So July 14th at 7 p.m., running for 4 weeks, that same Thursday time slot. So if you are at all interested in any of those classes, feel free to reach right out to us. Oh, I should mention that the class that's currently running for About Town is Saturdays at 9 a.m. So if you are interested in hopping in with this class, we do still have openings. You'll just be diving straight in on the field trips. And we do have those 2 other upcoming sessions, along with a bunch of other training options. We have all of our regular life and social skills classes. So high school for dogs, college for dogs, graduate school, and doctorate are all either currently running or coming up, so you can pop in and out of those. Those are all designed to be drop-in classes, so you can come when you can come. And if you miss a week or 2 or 3, that's totally fine. Just come to the next class that you can, and you'll learn something. We also have a couple of more of our topics-based classes, either coming up or currently running. So we have our Dogs Behaving Badly seminar, which is our impulse control seminar. The next scheduled session for that is Sunday, the 27th. So not tomorrow, but next week at 11 a.m. And that runs for about an hour and 15 minutes. That's all for dogs that jump on counters, DoorDash, jump up on people, all of those annoying impulsive behaviors that our dogs can have. We also are running Reliable Recall. The next one of those is Sunday, March 20th at 9 a.m. That is a 1-hour class focusing just on making sure that your dog comes when called, regardless of distractions. We also have our Cooperative Care class, which is also next Sunday, but at 4 p.m. Cooperative care is essentially the idea that you and your pet, whether it's a dog, cat, rabbit, parrot, whatever it is that you have, make sure that you're on the same page when it comes to things like grooming, medications, eye drops, ear cleaning, all that sort of stuff. So it allows you guys to work together as opposed to against each other. And it makes the whole experience a little bit more enjoyable and a lot less stressful for both of you. So that is next Sunday, the 27th at 4 p.m. And we also have an upcoming socialization session, which is Monday, the 28th. So not this Monday, but the Monday after school vacation week at 7 p.m. Our socialization classes are just that. They're all about exposing your puppy to as many different things as possible. It is specifically geared for puppies that are still in that socialization window, so only a few months old. We do accept older dogs into the class, but just know that they won't get as much out of it as a young puppy will. And it's all about exposing them to not just other dogs, but we bring them up and expose them to our foster cats, which, Twinkle is not a huge fan of, but she tolerates it. And we also show them different household cleaning items and work on building a positive association. We also spend a fair amount of time in our grooming room so that they can see the force dryer, the tub, nail clippers, all of that, and get exposed to it before it actually needs to be used on them so that they think that they're exciting as opposed to terrifying. We also do introduce them to some older dogs to help them teach them some manners. Mainly, I use Miss Wish, my oldest dog, for that because she is very fond of rules. She does not tolerate breaking of the rules, but she's also not mean about it. So there's that. That's coming up on Monday, the 28th. We also do have a couple of other classes coming up. Our Total Recall is coming up on the Sunday, the 20th, so tomorrow at 9 a.m. That's all about building a good, reliable recall as well, but it is a 4-week course, so we can dive really deep into it and make sure that we're providing you with the best start going forward. I really recommend this if you have going off leash as one of your goals for your dog, being able to hike off leash or go to any of the off leash parks without breaking the leash laws. So if you're all interested in any of those classes, just check out our website or give us a shout. Please bear in mind that it is school vacation week, so we are not going to be able to answer emails, phone calls, social media messages as quickly as we normally would because we are so busy. If you want to make sure that you get on the schedule, please either book yourself online, or you can text us through our booking system, and that gets forwarded to all of our phone numbers. And the phone number for that, let me put that up at the bottom of the screen. Be helpful if I could type. So if you need to get a hold of us on anything urgent or time sensitive, this is the number to call. Not call, text. Text this number. So it's 844-962-4421 if you need to get a hold of us for anything urgent or time sensitive, especially over this next week with it being school vacation week. All right, I think I have talked enough about this class. In case you couldn't tell, it's one of my favorites to do. So if you have any questions, pop them down in the comments and I will reply to them as soon as I see them. You can also always give us a call, send us an email, or most importantly, send us that text message at this number. All right, you have a good rest of your weekend. And for those of you that celebrate it, have a good school vacation. See you later.